Oh.
Cut them up, I don't know what it's called.
And
I'll be in front of them. He was talking about how
welcome to the channel.
that human beings drive cars.
Saturday morning, didn't go to Edinburgh. The weather,
there's not going to be people driving cars. Eventually, it's true.
but it was difficult. It's always difficult getting yourself organised when the weather's bad the day before. Plus, a lot of other people won't go out anyway, so I've got to get organised for tomorrow. Anyway, but we're looking at this video just now. This guy,
the money side of it.
this guy here,
Is the other, you know, like.
This guy.
You know.
Right, I've come to the conclusion. Well, it says the police going past. So the police are happy with what I'm doing. The police know what I'm doing. The police will know me. They don't care. Right. As far as I know, they've never come round. I don't know. They don't seem to be bothered. So I'm not breaking any rules or laws.
I mean, it's going to be computerized.
I would say that the police.
There'll still be people who will die in accidents. But what he was saying was it'll be.
I would say the police might well look at my footage, which they might use it, and I would never know. And this is why there is certain members of the community who wouldn't like what I'm doing. So what I'm doing, it's like everything. You can look at everything in sort of different perspectives. So what I'm actually doing would be bad for criminals. They wouldn't like it. But my opinion is, well, I don't want to get in the wrong side of criminals, but at the end of the day, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. And if they are decent criminals, they won't care because they'll be under the radar that well that they'll slip past, you know. So the other type of people that don't like what I'm doing are just nosy types. So this guy here, he was kind of making I've obviously had a bit of time to think about what he said and everything. And what he was saying was wrong. And that's so what was he really wanting? What was he really doing? You know? And he made I think he made such an arse of it. And I think if his employer sees it, I don't think his employer will be happy about it. Fairly certain he works for Stirling Council. He went in that direction. That doesn't mean he works there. I'm pretty sure that's where he works. In the roads department, he's some kind of management job. They're not the greatest paid. People working for councils not the biggest pay. So they don't get the best people, you know, so that would explain it. So it's just knowing how to conduct yourself out and about with the public.
Less, you know, it's pretty probably. I am a.
So here comes our man there, that's him there. So we're watching the trucks. I'll just show you that again. Again, there it is.
It'll be less, you know, it's pretty probably. I am a car person.
So there he is there. Is it a Kia? I'm not sure, still haven't figured out what sort of car it is. So I'm watching the truck, so I'm not really watching him because that's what I do. Truck spotting.
So what's the future looking like for us? Well, I don't know. I really don't know.
So we're on a need to know basis here.
Really exactly what
There it comes. There's the guy coming. There he comes. So he's moving. Notice he's moving. Well, he is. You could argue he's moving away from the traffic, but what I think he's doing is trying to move away from the camera, which is what. If you watch the Kildine Karen video, she does it really dramatically because she's female and she's holding her hands up in a dramatic fashion. But the best thing to do is don't go up to somebody if they've got a camera. Is the best option. So he's trying to move away around that way. So I'm turning the camera around so he can't escape. So you're not going to come up to me and sort of stand at my side and have a chat. You know, you're not going to be able to come up and dispense with your narcissistic trope. What is it? You're narcissistic. So he's in this case. So really, what I'm looking at, we'll just watch it. But
what am I doing? What's your income doing? That's what I'm asking. Filming. Yeah, because
so here's the first mistake he made. I think he's just used the wrong word. To be fair, there's absolutely no way I'm obstructing anyone. He said obstruct, right? So, well, the first thing is.
Yeah, because it might
So let's go over it.
What am I doing? What do you think I'm doing?
That's what I'm asking. That's what you're doing, please.
So, right, first problem. Who is this guy? You know, is he from the police? Is he from the roads department? Is he a teacher? Is he a social worker? Right. Is he from the council? Well, the reason he's not a social worker is I kind of don't get that they'd have the time to do that. And it was the police wouldn't do that because the police would know better. And as you've seen, the police did drive past. So he's not from the police, he's not a social worker. I don't think he's a teacher. So at first I'm thinking this guy works for the government. I'm pretty certain he does. He has to work for the council. And that's just a guess, I don't know for sure. But the car, I've actually seen the council using these cars. I don't know if they've still got them. I don't know if that's his own car. So my guess is he works for the council, right? So the first problem.
What am I doing? What do you think I'm doing?
That's what I'm asking.
Filming.
Yeah, because it might.
So I sort of try to evade the question. And the reason I try to evade the question is because it's none of his business. So I didn't want to be rude and say. So it's like, let's go over this. I didn't want to be rude to the guy, right? Also, if I'm wanting to get some kind of video out of this, you don't want to scare them off right away, right? So he might have ran away right away, you know. So you try. Really, I suppose the thing would be to try and keep them there, like a fish on a hook sort of thing.
Some of the cars come by looking at you and might make them.
So the next problem, he says that, well, he said I'm an obstruction, which is false because I'm clearly not an obstruction. I'm standing on the side of the road. So I'm as big an obstruction as that. Using his logic, we need to get that pole down because that's an obstruction. And that's where you get into with this. You get into all that with this. Speed humps are a danger. Safety camera vans are an obstruction. Signs are an obstruction. Pedestrian crossings are an obstruction. They shouldn't be there. All these things. But, so you're standing at the side of the road and you've got this random guy who comes up. Now this guy, I couldn't really have an argument about all these different things in that space of time. But using his logic, that lamppost is an obstruction. And now, the irony, well, we'll get into this.
You're obstructed while you're doing this, to be fair.
It might.
So if you're saying it might need to pay attention.
So
And
that was wrong of me to say it might. I'm not an obstruction at all. I think what he meant, and maybe I think the word was distraction. Distraction, not obstruction. It might be a distraction. It is a distraction. Right, so me standing at the side of the road filming with a high-vis jacket is a distraction. But it falls under the same category. Well, we'll get into that and all, but it's really rubbernecking, isn't it?
Who are you?
I'm just here to ask you, yeah.
Right, so I said, who are you? Right? So...
What are you doing?
See, he evades that question.
I'm just asking you because it's nicer, of course.
So what are you doing? So... I said, what are you doing? But to be more precise or specific, it could have been something like, what is your name? Who do you work for? Are you in the work capacity at the moment? So I need to learn from this experience for the next time an umpty like this comes up. So obviously, if the police turn up and they're wearing uniforms, they get out of a police car, you know, you could ask them to identify their number. You know, that's what you could do. But it's pretty certain that it's real police. So I don't know who this guy is, right? Right, what is he? So in what capacity is he doing this?
No, I don't agree.
So instead of answering who he was, he evades that question. So we're both evading. We're not both of us are avoiding answering the questions accurately. So but I'm also not really confronting him too much. Maybe I'm just being polite and British. You know, it could be that, right?
Yeah, well, it's possible.
And
but
he is as well.
You could be obstructing somebody now the way you've parked.
Right, so that's a cracker, right? Now, that's a cracker, isn't it? That is bad parking under any measure. Now, the lines there have not been painted yet. Now, I reckon if they paint the lines on there, which they will do, that it'll go right through his car, where his car was parked. And we'll be able to come and look at that once I've done the lines, because we've got that still. And you can see the vans and trucks coming round quite close to that car. Now, I have parked there myself in my car. What I do is I swing in and I reverse round. I would have had my car back there. But Captain Know-It-All, Captain Arrogant, Captain Numpty, he can park wherever he likes, because he's important, right? So, he evades that one, so I don't push it too far.
In there out of the way.
It's out of the way.
Really? That's quite a dangerous place to pull in.
So then,
You're doing this during a
I
busy
tell him it's a dangerous place to pull in. It is a dangerous place to pull in. One of my friends pointed out on Facebook, my friend Mark, pointed out that he's a twat for parking in a roundabout, and Mark's right with that, actually. You know, that is not, you shouldn't really be parking there. There's a gate up there. I mean, you wouldn't ordinarily park there. You know, you shouldn't be parking there, but there's no double yellow lines in, so I suppose you can. I'm not exactly sure how that would work out.
Just be mindful that it's busy, so people
mindful.
You might have something coming in there.
So mindful is something you hear from the police and stuff. I did a bit of research on that. It comes from Buddhism, but it was appropriated by claims like this, who use it inappropriately. Mindful. So the inference is that I'm mindless. The opposite of mindful is mindless. So I'm mindless. So that's the way I see it, that when they start that mindful shit, right? Because he's not a Buddhist. Well, his hair has gone walkabout, but he's still not a Buddhist. So he's telling me to be mindful, right? So, okay, right, next.
What's your aim? What's your aim?
I'll just ask you.
So I hit him with, what's your aim? So what I meant was, or what I meant is, how do you see this? What sort of outcome, or do you see an outcome? What do you think is going to happen? So, for example, I could say, my God, I've been doing this for 5 years, and now you've come up and told me this, and I didn't know that I was an obstruction. You know what? I'm just going to pack this in right now, go home and play with my Cindy dolls. I could have said that, right? Because obviously that's an aim. So what is this guy trying to achieve? Does he think that I'm going to go home and play with my Sunday dolls? Or does he think I'm going to completely ignore him and carry on doing what I'm doing? Or is he doing it for himself? So that he can turn around and say, aha, I told you so. You know, is that what he's doing it for? He's doing it for himself, isn't he? To feel big, to feel better, to find out what I'm doing. I'm not sure. Does he even know himself? So this is the next question. Did this guy really think about what he's doing? Because it doesn't seem like he really did. You know, it's like, what was your aim? So he's trying to educate me then. So he thinks that he can come along and educate me. I think that's what his aim was.
You've already said that you're aware that it may obstruct people.
So that was false. I shouldn't have said it would. May obstruct. It's not obstructing anyone. The only person that's doing any obstructing right now is him, because of the way he's parked. That's not good parking. That's no obstruction, right? So, right, well, we'll get on to that, but
If you know that, then that's good. See,
If it was illegal, I wouldn't be doing that. It's probably.
so then I start. This is probably a mistake on my part. I'm being conciliatory. I'm saying, well, if it was illegal, I wouldn't be doing it. But at the same time, I'm pointing out that the police. Well, I'm not pointing that out to him, but the police drove past, and they're not bothered. So the police aren't bothered with what I'm doing, but he is. He's the guy for the council. Well, I think he is. So the police don't care, but he does. So it's perfectly. The reason the police don't care is because what I'm doing is perfectly legal.
drivers are looking at you as well. So will you be mindful, please?
Now you see the little smirk there? That's him keeping his cool. He's at work, right? He's a manager. He's used to dealing with numpties. And works for Stirling Council, all these young... So in this area or any part of Scotland, Stirling Council is like a communist organisation. So a lot of young people, young men, young women, they'll maybe land up, a lot of them, the types, they're a bit like Callum. So he just does his own thing, but they've chosen to work for the council. And all they're interested is three things. 1, getting a shag. 2, looking at porn. 3, well, it would have been getting pissed in my time. But no, it's, you know, it's something like that. Or 4, not doing any work. 5, well, it would have been going to the pub, but going out in their Corsa with fancy exhaust. Or 6, not doing any work. 7, sleeping in the van. 8, ignoring people like him and not doing fuck all. That's what happens if you work for the council. So I admire them for actually getting up and going to the council to put all that high-vis stuff on, which this guy hasn't done, right? They got all the high-vis gear on, they got all the PPE on, and they go to work. Whereas some of them don't do fuck all, they just live off benefits and don't do a fucking thing, so they take, you know, illegal substances, so on and so forth. So you've got to give them praise for going to work, right? So he's the sort of guy that deals with these guys. So he treats them like the numpties what they are. So I think he thinks he's dealing with another numpty. That's me. And so he's superior. This guy's superior, and I'm one of the numpties standing outside the road. But he doesn't know me. That's the problem he's got.
Oh, you know, it's like, so you want to stand here and have an argument about it? I don't know what you mean. I know what you mean, but I don't agree with you.
No, absolutely not wanting an argument.
So he doesn't want an argument. So, you know, he's not a complete clown, right? He has got some skills, some management skills. So he's keeping his calm and he's keeping his cool. Because, so I would be asking him, have you done a risk assessment? Well, we need to get back to, what are you doing? Are you at work? Are you not at work? You've got your work clothes on, you've got your lanyard. So does that mean you're at work? Is that your work car? Is that a Stirling council car? So what, you know, and under what capacity, we're getting back to that again, are you talking to me? You know, are you at work or you're not at work? So where we're getting at this, have you done a risk assessment? Right, have you done a risk assessment to park your car like that? How do you know who I am? I could have, you know, a criminal record for violence. You know, I could have murdered him, right? So equally, I know that he works somewhere. I don't know if he does work for the council, but I know that he works and he's got a job. So it's unlikely he's going to, you know, attack me. I don't know. You just don't really know. I don't know who he is. Right, so
you just need to watch because it's
so need to watch.
It's very busy just now.
Well, that's better for me.
So that was going. That was a bit weird how he went to that one. It's very busy just now. That sort of reminds me. It's sort of like, so he's changing. What they do is, if you watch Kung Fu Karen, she changed from aggressor to full victim. She totally, when she realised that, well, she totally shit herself, and that's because I overdid it a bit. I threatened her. I says, get to fuck. I will, you know. But this has been more conciliatory, this one. And that's because I've learned you can't really shout at people. And you shouldn't, and you don't have to. But I suppose it depends what they do. If he come towards me, touched me or something, yeah, I would tell him to get to fuck. Yeah. So,
So what is it you're filming for?
so that's it. So I think that's what the question really is. Out of all this, I think that's what it is. You notice how close that car is to his. I think that's what the question is. That's the preamble. So he's went through the preamble.
Videos.
So then he gets fed up because he's got the same answer again. Videos. What are you filming for? Videos. So I'm filming for videos. So why are you filming for videos? Because I make videos. So then he goes back to safety. The safety thing. So he's on the safety mode now.
Oh, you're a safety person, right?
But,
okay, bye.
So you realised there that he wasn't getting anywhere with the videos. I'm making videos. I'm a video maker, right? I'm a video maker. What are you making videos for? No, because I make videos. I make the videos. What do you make videos for? Because I'm a video maker. Right, so... And I noticed when he got in his car, a lot of people, if they're really... So he kept his shit, but he doesn't look back. He doesn't look back, he gets right in his car. Some of them might have looked back. He gets in his car. I would say that battle. I would give myself 7 points and him 3. or 2.5, I think, or 0 even.
Well, okay, right. So where were we?
Right, so I actually forgot what I was talking about, you know, and so what we really got to do with this?
You know, like, so Elon Musk's going to own the car, you know.
Is
And,
Copper's not bothered?
so, coppers, police lady, alright. There'll still be people who will die in accidents.
I was actually
What he was
talking
saying
about
was it'll
autonomous
be
vehicles.
Less.
In the future.
You know, it's probably,
That's what I was talking
am
about.
a car person.
Right, let's get, there he is there.
But it's probably true, actually, what it is.
Right, so what we've got here,
There we go.
what I believe we've got here,
I don't know.
fundamentally,
But
That's what they're doing, please.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
What do you think I'm doing?
That's what I'm asking.
so I think what we've got here is a fundamental arrogance of this guy.
Yeah, fuck you, bro.
The fundamental arrogance, I think. So one, does he have jurisdiction to behave them and ask questions like what he has? Well, no. If he's at work, does he? Did he do a risk assessment? Is he wearing PPE? So you're going on the side of the road to object or to ask what somebody's doing at the side of the road, and the person that is at the side of the road is wearing PPE, but he's not wearing PPE, so he's putting himself at risk. There's not a public footpath there, it's just a grass verge. He hasn't parked his car properly. So that's what we're looking at here, is we're looking at arrogance. This guy's arrogant. That's what I think we're looking at. Right? I think you're being arrogant because you think you're so important and you're using your work authority inappropriately. Because you are a manager, I reckon you're in the roads department for Stirling Council. It's a guess, I don't know. And I reckon that you're using your authority over the roads and over council workers. There we go. Did he think I worked for the council? Did he think I was one of his numpties? You know, that's a possibility. It's a distinct possibility. What's this guy doing? Why are you filming? Is that what it was? But would you still do that even though you thought that? Wouldn't you try and find out who this person is? Well, is that what he's actually doing? Am I answering this myself? So he's stopped there. He doesn't know. Again, I could be somebody who's violent. I could have a history of violence. Has he done a risk assessment? No. Is he at work? We don't know. Yes, no. Well, he is at work. He's at work. Is it his lunch break? If you're in your lunch break, does that mean you're not at work anymore? He's not wearing a work uniform. So he's not wearing Stirling Council uniform. Does that make a difference? Is that a Stirling Council car, or is that his own car? Is it his private car? You know, I think the whole thing is, I think he's arrogant. I don't think it's... The reason why I just said videos is because it's not... It's like on a need to know basis. It's like the lady asked me if I had the operation. You don't do that. It's rude. I'll tell you stuff if you get to know me. I'll tell you stuff. But to come up and ask, is it fair to what am I doing? Well, I did answer what I was doing. I was videoing. That he knew I was videoing. He could see I was videoing. What he wanted to know really was, what did he want to know? Why I was videoing? What I was doing with the videos? Is that what he really wanted to know? He wanted to know, and he didn't actually ask me, but he was using his learned behaviour, his work behaviour, to deal with me. And in some ways he did reasonably well, but the biggest mistake he ever made was pulling in. He shouldn't have done it. So he's just displayed how arrogant he is and how he can't park his car properly. I mean, he brushed that off. That's not parked properly. If you see that, you can see how close the trucks are to it.
Well, you're doing this to be fair.
It might.
So if you're saying it might need to pay attention.
So that's the inside lane of that roundabout.
Who are you?
I'm just here to ask you.
What are you doing?
I'm just asking you because
So
nicer, of course, because you met people around here.
Well,
So
no,
I think there's an awful lot to this more than what people realise.
You could be obstructing something like the way you parked.
I'm in there out the way.
It's not out of the way.
That's great.
Really, is it?
To pull in.
When you're doing this during a busy period, just be mindful.
Wait, you see the-
It's busy, so people might be looking at you and might have something coming in.
So what's your aim? What's your aim?
I was just to ask you, that you've already said that you're aware that it may obstruct people, so if you know that, then that's good. See,
If it was illegal, I wouldn't be doing that. It's probably.
just pay attention to it, because I know that I looked over there and other drivers are looking at you as well.
You don't know what other drivers are looking at.
So you be mindful, please.
Oh,
So he's being polite.
You know, it's like, so you want to stand here and have an argument about it? I don't know what you mean. I know what you mean, but I don't agree with you.
No, absolutely not wanting an argument. Just saying you just need to watch.
Well,
Because,
I think it's pretty difficult to not have an
Well,
argument.
that's better for me.
You know,
so what is it you're talking about?
Videos.
right there. There it is.
Oh, please, because
There it is. Look how close that truck is. And is that a council truck? Look how close that is. So if you can imagine an Arctic truck, but I mean generally the Arctics don't go in the inside lane because that's a limit. That road is 7.5 ton. I don't know if it's illegal, but they're not encouraged to go in. The Arctic trucks don't go in there. But anyway, right, if an Arctic truck did come round there, can you see how close that is? He's not parked that properly. So if you're going to cut, if you're going to be superior and try and tell people they're obstructing, don't obstruct yourself, because that's what you've done. You've obstructed. Right? I think the arrogance of this guy is typical. All these hubris. Is he Stockton Rush? Well, not really. He's not quite as bad as that. The arrogance of these guys it's got to be arrogance, isn't it? Because they're always right. He thinks he's right. He thinks he's got. I think he thinks that he can come along and tell me what to do, and I think we've covered it. So to sum it up, he doesn't have the authority. We don't even know if he was at work or if he wasn't at work, if he was in a work capacity. He didn't even know himself. Did he do a risk assessment to come and talk to me? No. He didn't wear PPE. So if his argument was I don't need to, it's not a building site, well, that means you don't really have a right to come and ask me anything either, do you? Because I'm in a public place. That means it's got to be a public place, side of the road, or is it a prescribed area? Well, no, it isn't. So I think there's no way he could really win his argument. I think he was a clown and he's made a fool of himself. It's no me that I didn't ask him to come and join in my camera. But anyway, there you go, folks. So thanks for watching that. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So like, share and subscribe and we'll get you in the next video. Bye!